What's up, guys? How's it going? Can you hear that? Well, I just thought I'd put the camera in front of my face, finally, just to kind of check in with you guys. Because I haven't posted and I've been stressed out about it. You know, I hate it when I don't post. But man, I have been very sick. And this sickness has lasted a while, right? I was planning on posting last week, but I was bedridden, man. Just fever, shivers, couldn't get out of bed, and I just couldn't put the camera on my face. And I assumed that I was gonna wait until this weekend to make a video, but I'm still so sick, and I don't know. I this is the first day that since this all started that I felt well enough to kind of be out of bed and actually like put this camera in my face. So I figured I should just do a video like this where I'm just, filling you guys in. I don't know if I have it in me right now to do much of anything else. The thing about this sickness is that I can't believe that I'm still this sick. It's been a full like 7 or 8 days now since this all started. And man, I've been like useless this whole time. Usually when I get sick, it's like a 2 or 3 day thing, and even then I can usually just power through it. I'm not, debilitated like this. But I had to call out days from work this week, and just kind of just like remain in the fetal position in bed. I guess it's going around. I guess a lot of other people around me are sick as well. And it's like a pretty long duration, this illness, which is wild. The last time I was sick for this long is when I was like withdrawing from drugs. I can't remember another time besides that where I've been like sick for this long. It's funny because as each day goes by, I'm just kind of like, oh, tomorrow it'll be better, and now I realize that it's been 8 days, and I'm starting to think like, well, maybe I need to go to the hospital. Maybe I need to go to the doctor and get some antibiotics or something. But it's funny because like, even though I have those thoughts and I know that that's probably the right decision, I can't bring myself to do it. Like, there's no way I'm actually like taking the steps to actually to actually make that happen. Which is horrible. That's not what you're supposed to do. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to the hospital or to the doctor unless like I'm passed out and someone else drags me there. I don't know why. That's my instinct. It's so stupid. Anyway, speaking of being sick from using drugs, having been a drug addict myself, and maybe some of you can relate to me on this, there's something super awkward about coming down with something and getting sick after you've gone through something like that, because everyone in your life, that they're at least thinking, they're at least thinking there's a possibility in the back of their head. They're like, maybe he's sick because he's relapsed, I could just feel it. I could feel it when I talk to people. I had an interaction with somebody, a friend of mine, and I knew that's what he wanted to know. So you have to be like, no, motherfucker, I didn't relapse. But yeah, it's funny because it's sort of awkward. It's an awkward concern because that no matter how much you tell them with your words that it's not so, they probably don't necessarily believe you. And not that they believe that you have for certain, but they're just unsure, which is completely legitimate. Obviously, it's because at least with me, I have a history of drug abuse and lying about it. Those two things kind of go hand in hand. The lying about what you're doing and the deception and everything. And so, having had a history with my friends and family of being so deceptive around these things, it can be a little weird sometimes because you're like, okay, like how much do I need to reassure them, and how much is that reassure me trying to reassure them even making it worse, right? Making it seem like I'm a little too desperate to let them know. It's a funny place to be in sometimes. Luckily, in my situation, I think it's pretty clear that losing your voice and coughing up phlegm and stuff isn't necessarily a side effect of relapsing on drugs. But just in any case, it's just an interesting thing that I've experienced. I guess the point is, it's something that used to bother me more, like when I was making attempts to get sober, and then I'd be a little bit, I'd actually legitimately have something else going on, and people would be concerned that it was a relapse thing. It would offend me, or it would make me feel bad, or get me irritated or something. And I've noticed that it doesn't have that effect on me now. And I think the reason why is because I'm less concerned, because I'm more secure in who I am and in my own path forward and in what's going on with me. Like, what matters to me now more than what other people think is what's actually going on with me and my relationship with myself, right? If that's on point, then I can try to reassure people who are concerned about me, because I know their concern is just out of love or whatever. But it's, you can only go so far, and I just sort of forget about it. Like, yeah, you're going to think whatever you're going to think. That's fine. That's legitimate. You have every right to think whatever you want. But, my concern is me, right? It's not how you're thinking about what's going on right now. And it's funny because before, when I was, like I said, when I was having attempts to get better, or I was just like barely on the wagon, that stuff would bother me so much. And I think the reason is because I was so insecure in my, or at least like I was building it up in my, like I wasn't doing as well as I wanted to believe I was doing, or I was trying to hold up an image that I was doing better. Like, it mattered to me so much what people thought about what was going on with me. And it's funny because while the interaction can be a little awkward, right? Like, say with my friend or whatever, when that whatever you're saying isn't actually giving them the reassurance that they want, or that you're hoping it will give them. While that could be a little awkward, it's still kind of just like, water off a duck's back. Like, for me, it's just kind of like, oh, well, it's the way it is, it's just the fallout from having lived a life of deception and drug addiction. It's just part of the deal. I think we have to deal with certain things like that as people who have gone through these things and who have had a history of, being untrustworthy. It's hard to reset real deception when you've really deceived people in the past that were really close to you. It's hard to. It's hard for them to know when you're being honest, like, and even if you have this period of time like I have, where I've been good for so long, and I'm being honest, and I'm like legitimately working on myself and trying to get to a better and better place in my life, just not like, mentally and with everything that's going on in my circumstance. You have this period of time where you're working on that and you're doing that, and then it reminds you, something happens that reminds you that you used to be a lot different. And as much as you work on your relationships with the people around you, there's still those seeds, don't, not seeds, but those those memories of how you were aren't, they don't completely disappear, and I don't know if they ever will. But the best thing I can do, as far as I am concerned, is just continue to focus on myself and continue to be true to myself. As long as I'm being true to myself, I feel like it's really easy to be honest with other people. And I think it's just time heals. It is just such a healing thing. It takes time to forget those things. And something, again, maybe sometimes they'll never be completely forgotten. But, I think the longer that I spend doing well, I think the more trust you can build with people around you. It's funny, too, because the more recent acquaintances and friends that I've made in my life, the ones that I've met since I've been out of prison and since I've been sober, and those people have only seen me sober. They don't have any memory of the guy I was before. Those people, they never have. They would never jump to that thought, like, are you relapsed or something? Like, they don't do that. At least it doesn't seem like to me that that's even occurring to them, because they just don't know that person. Like, they know about it. Like, I've talked to them about it. They're aware of what's going on. They know about my whole prison situation or whatever it is. And I've talked to them extensively about how bad I was addicted to heroin and meth, and, like, how crazy it ruined my life and how dishonest I was and all that stuff. Like, totally open with them about it. But because they haven't experienced it directly, and they've only experienced me the way that I've been, it's not something that they're tapping into. It's not something that they're remembering, right? Even though they know about it, they don't remember it. So it's not visceral for them. So that concern doesn't even pop up. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. So much love for you. Hopefully I'm coming out of this sickness. Like, I keep thinking that, oh, I'm getting better. But I think I'm getting better now. I finally have, like, an appetite a little bit today. So I'm going to go eat something right now. And I don't feel the fever, like, cold sweats, chills, that kind of thing. That seems to be over. So it's just the respiratory issues now mostly, and my voice. So I'm going to keep taking care of myself, and hopefully in the next day or two I'll be able to get on making a proper video. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Much love.